only way this sport's going to grow is we have to find some synergy between the two entities. And I think we've gotten to that point. Unfortunately, it took 16 months to get here, but I think, level heads have got us to this point to where we can actually work together and grow this sport. I'm very proud of that, and I think Jim feels the same.
Jim, I do feel the same. We can get back to focus for me, very big lot, racing, and we spend a lot of time. Well, then not really focused on that so much as we need to be. So I feel like that we made a very good decision here.
Welcome to the Common Sense Philosophy channel. This video's title is Michael Jordan, NASCAR or Nascar car? Michael Jordan, NASCAR or scam car? Scam car. It's just been a mess with that whole NASCAR situation between him and Mr. Francis. The good part about it is that they finally came to an agreement that they're going to try to make things better, because before the drivers wasn't getting paid right, the people that was working on the cars wasn't getting paid right. And it's kind of funny that it would be Michael Jordan, which is one of the greatest basketball players, would come over. I think he played a little baseball too, but he was really good in basketball. That's what he's known for. I think his team was called 2311 for NASCAR. He came over to the sport and decided he would help things out. I guess one of the drivers, he was saying he would spend the money that the driver got, he would blow it all gambling in one night in Vegas. So he was just saying it wasn't a lot of money. I think that was his point, because the money that Jordan would gamble was a lot of money. But I think his perspective was it's not a lot of money and they should be making more, because they're putting their life on the line, driving that fast around that listen, going around the track. And it's just crazy, because I just thought about something. They're going way too fast not to be getting paid right. They better have some good life insurance too. But as far as Michael Jordan, what he's doing, it looks like he's doing a good thing. I see a lot of people are happy about it. And they're happy the sport is going to grow, and everybody within it is going to do well. They'll have more control over these charters that's been attached to this sport for a long time. And if you want something to continue to grow and not die off, you probably have to change some things as time goes. So I think it's exciting. I think they'll keep it up, and they'll bring more celebrities in, and more people continue to get involved in it as time goes. So, like I said, this is the name of this one, Michael Jordan, NASCAR or the scam car. Hopefully their scamming is over and they can just do well. Thanks for coming by and checking out the Common Sense Philosophy channel. Like and subscribe on your way out. Appreciate everybody that's been coming to the channel. We're going to continue to grow it, continue to put these videos out. We're going to run some more clips on the way out. Check them out, and I'll talk to you later. Yep.
Made it today and not earlier.
Level heads. In all honesty, when you get to the finish line, sometimes you have to think, not just for yourself, but you got to think about the sport as a whole. And I think both parties got to that point, and we realized that we can have an opportunity to settle this. And we dove in and we actually did it. Unfortunately, it took us that long, but we got here. That's all that matters.
Do you feel like it was worth it?
Well, both parties feel like it's worth it, because we understand we had to work together. Compromise in every negotiation is one of the toughest things that you can do. And I think that you can say that we both compromised on both of our agendas. And I think we both come to the conclusion that it's better for the sport.
There's so much family history wrapped up here, not just for you, Mr. France, but also for you, Mr. Jordan. Can you talk about just what it means to you from a legacy point of view?
Well, I grew up watching his father build this sport, and I didn't want to have to tear it down. I don't think he wanted to be torn down, but I think under calmer circumstances, we actually voiced what our interests may have been, collectively. And at the end of the day, we reached some type of compromise. And to me, that's That's in every negotiation. That's in every agreement. I'm very happy we stand on this step to move forward as opposed to moving separate.
Michael Jordan lawsuit against NASCAR revealed a lot of dirty secrets. If you didn't check out my last video, Jordan basically called out NASCAR as a monopoly and wants teams and drivers to get their fair share. And now as the case goes on, we're figuring out how crooked NASCAR really is. As it turns out, teams lose 75% of their money yearly. Also, NASCAR owns 50% of the tracks used in races. That includes TV deal money, which ends back up in NASCAR's pockets, but hardly any of it goes to the drivers themselves. In 2016, NASCAR gave out 36 charters for free, basically meaning a spot to race. But as time went on and financial decline happened, those prices steadily increased. In 2018, it shot up to $6 million, and in 2023, it rose up to a whopping $40 million. With NASCAR signing a new TV deal for $7.7 billion, drivers want $12.5 million, and for all of their charters to be permanent. Just keep this in mind for a second. Michael Jordan invested $40 million into his own racing team 2311, and it costs roughly $20 million to have a NASCAR race per year, and that's not including the car and auto parts. And you mean to tell me NASCAR gets a good chunk of the money after the race? Texts and emails also came out, and it was pretty nasty work. The NASCAR president told a team owner one time that he was a stupid redneck that deserves to get taken out back and flogged. Which I don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound lovely. And meanwhile, there were messages of Michael Jordan laughing off a cost of a driver saying, "I lose that in a casino every weekend." See, MJ, please never change. The way this case is going, it's set to change the landscape of the sport itself. And MJ wants to be the center of that change. And when you got fans outside the courthouse playing your own theme music, just like the Chicago Bulls theme song on day one, and now, like Mike, you're in pretty good shape.
Used to ask me, why is Michael Jordan suing NASCAR? And honestly, it's a great question. Imagine NASCAR is a super exclusive restaurant that only has 36 VIP tables. And say you own one of these tables because you paid for it. Well, you are guaranteed to be able to dine in this restaurant every single week. No line, no reservations. It's yours. But here's the catch. Even though you paid for it and it guarantees you a spot in this restaurant, you technically really don't have full ownership. The restaurant does. The restaurant has so much control over these tables that have been bought that they even have the full jurisdiction to say yes or no to who you try to sell this table to, even if you're Michael Jordan. And that is why Michael Jordan and two NASCAR teams are suing NASCAR and Chairman Jim France. They believe that NASCAR just has way too much control and power, and that really it's anti-competitive. And that for a lot of these NASCAR teams, they don't truly own what they paid for. In technical terms, Michael Jordan and the NASCAR team owners are trying to get rid of the NASCAR charter system or reinvent it to where it feels more like a partnership with these team owners and not that NASCAR has full control and power in the sport. The charter system was implemented around 2016, and this is NASCAR's version of a franchise model. If a team owns a charter, you're guaranteed a spot in every single race. If you don't have a charter, you have to be in an open entry to be in certain races, and it's not guaranteed. If you also own a charter, there is a type of stability because it lasts for a few years before it expires. And then once it expires, NASCAR can come up with any new rules that it wants. And that's the only way you would be able to re-sign for another agreement. Also with the charter system, if you own one, you also have a revenue split that a lot of teams feels like really secures financial stability, which is a big question into the sport of NASCAR. That's why in 2024, when NASCAR sent out these new agreements for people to re-sign their charters, Michael Jordan in 2311 Racing was like, nah, I'm not doing that because none of this is fair to us. You get to change these agreements whenever you want, and we're actually not getting any profit, and that's just not good business.
This lawsuit and stuff with Michael Jordan and all this stuff. So let me tell you, NASCAR operates like a small southern town, okay? It's incircular. It's very tight-knit. It's money-focused. And everybody within the town feeds off everybody else until they need a little injection of money. Then they, somebody comes along with some money and they obviously take it, right? Well, that relationship works pretty good with that outsider with money until it doesn't. And then the incircular fish, the people that circle the wagons in the local small southern town, start trying to figure out a way to protect themselves and their interests. And then the outsider with money, of course, he has a lot of real world experience. He starts trying to protect himself from the little fish in the big pond that is trying to feed off each other. So see, you got one guy from the outside who's lived and worked and operated in the real world. Then on the other side, you've got the circular small town folks who've never really left the small town, or in this case, the South. Okay? And they don't really know how the world works, right? They still trying to operate off their deeply held Southern ways. And that's okay. But they got to realize they are what they are. And they're in the situation they're in because they're in the situation they're in. Because they've been in the situation they're in for many, many years.